Once you know how to acquire customers, business becomes so much easier. It's actually insane. But the issue is you can't just keep acquiring customers forever because eventually you run into a wall. You can't service those customers, and then you're hit with the uncomfortable reality that you cannot market your way to as big of a business as you want to build. Over the past year, I've been able to grow my business from nothing to $11,000 a month. This is my first year in business, and I think I could have gotten there a lot faster if I put all of my focus into learning how to acquire customers. But the good thing is, once you have that skill, you're never really at an issue of acquiring customers forever. So let me kind of explain the story of what I want to try and get across in this video and what I've kind of recently, after just looking at my calendar just now, recently realized that I have to do if I want to get to that next step of running my business. So for those of you that don't know what I do, I own a hockey media business, right? So it's super niche. We offer like videography services, high quality videography services to hockey players. And I realized that to get to where I wanted to go with my business, I needed to just like I was solving, imaginary problems in my business for a whole year when realistically, once I got the product down right, I should have just been trying to get as many people to know about it as possible. And once I started doing that, I started running Facebook ads in September after multiple like failed attempts at running Facebook ads throughout the year. I was like, I'm gonna stick with it because I know if I want to grow my business, I need more customers. So I started running Facebook ads and they're profitable. And I run Facebook ads from probably the beginning of September, even a little bit into August. I'd say mid August to around November, I had to shut down my Facebook ads because I was getting too many leads. Like I couldn't handle all the people coming in. I wasn't following up with all these. I just had like a pipeline filled with opportunity. My calendar was full and things were looking really good. I was demand constrained for the first time ever, and I can't even explain what that felt like. That was awesome. And being demand constrained, I was kind of hit with the reality where I was like, okay, I need to get some systems and just better processes in place so I can scale to the next level of like max capacity. So that was in November, like the start of November. I had to show my hands off. November, I did my first $10,000 month. So it was September we did 4.5. Um, October we did around 7.8, and then November $11,000 a month. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like we're growing. And since we had so many, like too many customers, I knew what to deal with. I decided to slow down lead generation. I'm like, okay, like, we can't keep running ads because I don't even have the time to service the customers, um, or I don't even have the time to like work the leads or the capacity to service all those customers. And for a little insight to my model, which will be important for the actual purpose of this video, is I'm trying to build something where there's Puck Pro Media. That's the name of the company, Puck Pro Media. There's Puck Pro Media videographers at every rink, every single hockey rink across the country. So like I'm say it all the time. I'm trying to become the Chick-fil-A of hockey media, and that involves other people. And I work with kind of contractors right now. It's kind of how I do things. Like I find people and I'm like, okay, and I pay them to do the game, and obviously I take gross profit from that. The issue is there's not a ton of people. Like I don't have enough people. And I'm like, okay, like let me go find some people. And that's what the past couple months have been. It's like I'm gonna like just standardize my business, get some systems in place, and get ready for that next stage of growth. And probably midway through last month or the end of last month, I'm like, oh, like my calendar's looking kind of empty. I gotta start, you know, booking, getting some new customers because I saw the drop off was like, all right, I got 20 new customers in September, 20 in October, 20 in November, December, not a lot. I maintained revenue in December. I did just under 10K in December. I think 9.8 total in revenue. And I only got like 3 or 4 new customers, which means I have pretty good repeat customer service. We don't have like a recurring subscription. We just have like reoccurring customers. So that was pretty good. I was happy we were able to maintain with the amount of customers that without really doing anything to acquire new customers. I'm taking a whole bunch of rabbit holes here back and forth, bouncing around this video. Oh, where was I? So yeah, whole ton of growth leading up to November, December. I'm like, okay, we got to slow things down and get ready for the next big push of growth. And towards the end of December, I started getting antsy. I'm like, okay, we need to start marketing again. So these past like 3 or 4, probably 3 weeks, I've just been doing subtle things to market, like extremely subtle. Like I made a couple tweaks to my website, so then I started driving people to a specific landing page where they would fill out contact info or whatever, which I didn't really do in the past. I never really had any kind of website lead optimization. Started doing some just following up with leads because I have a pipeline full of leads. I was just following up with like 10 leads every day, like nothing crazy at all, just 10 every day. Just like literally subtle marketing efforts, getting a little bit more like, okay, like we need to get customers. And as I sit down to look at my calendar today, after 2 or 3 weeks of probably 2 weeks of like focused effort back into like, okay, I'm gonna just put my foot on the gas a little bit for marketing. I sit down and look at my calendar and it looks exactly how it looked back when I was running Facebook ads. Completely packed weekends for like the next 4 weeks. And I'm like, two things are going through my mind because I'm happy because it's like, dude, you really can. Like, I can just generate demand whenever I want now because I know how to. So that's awesome. Super exciting, right? But I'm also hit with the uncomfortable reality that, like, I can't service the demand. So this whole time I was trying to, like, set everything up, I really should have been recruiting people and making sure I have consistent good people because like I think it's natural for an entrepreneur to really care about the service their customers or get, or at least for me, like I kind of think that I have a very high standard for what I want our customer experience to be like, and sometimes I feel like some of the videographers I hire don't really hit that. Just kind of just a minor concern in the back of my mind where it's like like, oh, like these people are good, but are they good enough to take on all this demand? Like, oh, but I don't have someone from there, but people are asking for bookings there, so now I got to drive over there myself. And truly, like, what I should have been doing the whole time is finding that next group of like staff, like because it's a tough position where I can't really like pay people full time, but like now I'm thinking maybe I can because like I know I can generate demand. So like, what if I sign someone full time and then just get them customers as I go, so that way I know I have someone available. It's like a tricky spot, um, because like I'm literally just in the same spot where like I have a full ass calendar, which is super exciting, but I don't even know if we can do all these different bookings. So I'm really not a fan of having to solve the same problem twice, but it looks like I do have to. And I guess the main thing holding me back was like, what am I doing? Like, sure, I definitely made progress. Like, I reached out to a whole bunch of different people, kind of just made some connections in different areas. But it's not like I can't just rely on these people necessarily. So, not a lot of like businesses like mine are trying to do what I'm trying to do. Most of the time, if you're like a video creator, you just become a really good video creator and then you're demand constrained forever and you can just charge a ton because you're really good at what you do. I'm trying to build more of like a franchise kind of, I mean, not actually franchise it, but like a franchise kind of model where I have a ton of people working under my name. And it's a tough space. It seems like a tough space to recruit people in and get people committed to like working for you because a lot of these people like consider themselves entrepreneurs. They're like, oh, I'm doing my own thing, and they just kind of think of what I'm giving them as more freelance work, I guess. But I don't know. I planned the video up to this point. Now I'm kind of just spitballing. Realistically, a lot of those people, the issues they have is they can't generate customers. Like they're good at photography and videography, but they don't know how to run a business at all. Um, so I guess I could probably play into that a bit, being like, oh, this is what you get consistent work here. You can do what you love and get consistent work. But now I'm thinking like, do I go and try to hire people full time? And it's so funny because literally the podcast I was listening to today, I was re-listening to the podcast where one of the ones where Alex Ramirez is talking about like it's called "Your Business Is Not What You Think It Is," um, and he's kind of talking about how each industry has their own problems, and often it's not the problem you think it is. Like how the gym industry, you think it's about like delivering people results, but realistically, the gym industry is about marketing and sales because you have so like everyone could get in the gym. You have a humongous total addressable market, But not a lot of people actually want to put in the time to get fit. So you have to be good at marketing and selling. And I think this is the big hairy problem in my business model, in my industry as a whole, is going to be finding people who can work for me. So now I'm just like thinking like, do I train people? Do I raise my prices and try to attract better videographers because I can pay them more? Like, I don't know. I'm just actively getting hit with the blessing and a curse that customer acquisition is great, but only until you can fulfill that demand. So I really don't like having to learn the same lesson twice, but it seems like this is the second time this is appearing where I'm about to be demand constrained again, because I just did a very small amount of marketing and it's blown up like crazy, which like these are all super positive signs for my business as a whole, but I need to figure out how I can service that demand in a quality way, in a sustainable way, and kind of fast. So this is the problem I seem to be solving. This is going to be the focus, I guess, is acquiring talent, which sounds crazy for a business only doing $11,000 a month in revenue. But when I'm maxed out, like, I need people, and this just happens to be the type of service that I'm in. So, but it's weird. It's so weird because, like, for landscaping, as a side example, like, you're gonna get to a point where sure you can't mow everyone's lawn, but finding landscaping labor is a lot different than finding videography labor. So it's like the same problem, but an easier solution. I don't know. This is where I'm at. So I guess the two things I'm trying to get across in this video are one, once you know how to get customers, like you're in a really good spot because it's something you can replicate. Like once you have a reliable system, of course, it's something you can replicate, and it's really not anything you're gonna have to worry about ever. But it also comes with problems, and if you don't solve that underlying problem, you can, you know, either market yourself and you can market yourself out of business because you just dilute the level of service over time. Because like realistically, I could hire Joe Schmo on the side of the street. I've never seen any of the work and have him go do it, and I could probably scale to like very quickly a lot next month. But I'm trying to build a long term business, so it's like I'm kind of weighing these things where like I want to grow fast, but I want to grow sustainably where like the customer experience is still good. I don't know. That's where I'm at. So learn how to market. Until you're having these problems where you're literally like constrained by the amount of people you can service, you need a market. But once you get here, I don't know. I can't tell you because this is where I'm at, and I'm trying to figure it out. So I guess that's it for today, and I'm gonna try to post more. Um, I say that all the time. I'm lying. I'm probably not gonna post more, but I'll post whenever I can. This is what I'm working on now, so keep you updated.